We have to talk about this absolutely ludicrous and hysterical series of posts from Matt Walsh about marriage. So, Jeremiah Johnson tweeted, "Cannot emphasize enough to young men out there how much it rocks to have a wife who makes more money than you. Absolutely rules, 10 out of 10 would marry again." Okay, so that's his preference. Have your wife make more money than you. Whatever. Matt Walsh comes in here and says, "Oh, yeah, it rocks so much that your marriage is 50% more likely to end in divorce if your wife earns more than you. It rocks so much that both wives and husbands consistently report being less satisfied in their marriage when the wife earns more. Yeah, it absolutely rocks for a man to be in a situation where his wife is a better provider than he is, totally inverting a system that has worked across all of human civilization since the dawn of humanity is great. Sending the message to your wife that you don't bring anything to the family that she doesn't already bring in greater supply is amazing. Good advice. Thanks for the feedback." And then he adds in another post, "Unless you are severely sick or disabled or temporarily out of work and aggressively looking for new employment, you simply should not be financially dependent on your wife. This should be just about the least controversial advice I could ever give a man." It's about the least intelligent advice that you could ever give a man, Matt. It's very stupid. It's very self destructive. Let me pitch a hypothetical to you. Let's say that I am making $80,000 a year and my wife is making $79,000 a year. Let's say she just offered a modest salary raise up to $81,000 a year. Should I say, "Whoa, no, you can't do, no, no, our marriage is going to become 50% more likely to end in divorce. No, I might consistently report being less happy than I was before." That's ridiculous. Dude, bring in more money, whatever. Get the family more money. Don't you value family values? The more the merrier. The more the merrier. The more money the merrier, right? But he's like, no, the man needs to make more money. The man needs to make more. The man needs to be more successful than the wife. This is totally absurd. And I think my hypothetical really demonstrates that. Now, he does cite some studies here. Well, actually, he doesn't cite the studies, but he just claims they exist. I have heard that marriages where the man earns less than the wife are more likely to end in divorce than the other way around. But I've also heard that that's because the husbands are more likely to cheat in those scenarios. So it seems that in this case, we actually have a problem of male insecurity, that they're insecure their wife earns more than them, and as a result, they resort to behavior like cheating. That sounds like a male problem. Now, look, men and women both have problems. They both contribute some negative things to marriages and to society as a whole. Men and women both have problems they need to work on. But this issue, if you take issue with your wife making more than you, what on earth, dude? You are insecure. You are ridiculous. And for you to lecture men, to tell them you need to make more than your wife, you can't let your wife make more than you, that's totally ridiculous. It's a limiting mindset. Allow families to unlock their full potential, and if that means that the wife earns more than the husband, that is perfectly fine. This is totally draconian. And the reason that I'm talking about this not only is because it's ludicrous, but I think that it's becoming more popular on the hardcore right. It is becoming more popular just to be like, yeah, no, screw women. Men are better. Men need to do more. Men need to make more. And yeah, it's overvaluing money as well. He's talking about what you bring into the marriage. Oh, you need to bring in something more than what your wife does. If she's bringing anything more than what you're bringing in, then that's destructive. That's inverting the past trends, like as if, oh, we've done it for 1,000 years this way, so obviously it can't be wrong. No, Matt. And also, money is not the only thing that a husband or a wife can bring to marriage. There are plenty of other things, and you damn well know that. So I love some of these responses. So someone says, "How about everyone is in different positions in life and not everyone fits the cookie cutter mold you pseudo conservatives throw people into?" I don't know if this person actually is a conservative because they're calling him a pseudo conservative. If they really are conservative, I give them credit for saying that. I think that's a really, really astute way of calling out Matt Walsh and an astute way of analyzing and describing what he's trying to do. Someone says, "Only weak bitches like you are afraid of this because you have no self-worth and need to assert your value by turning to Neanderthal BS. Real men don't have to worry about this because their self-worth isn't dependent on Neanderthal BS." That's very true. That's very true. Neanderthal BS. He needs to cling to this because his self-worth is terrible. He needs to feel like he's better than his wife. He needs to feel like he's better than women in general. This is becoming a way more popular mindset to have on the right. It used to be that they weren't really so spiteful towards women in some ways, at least. Like, think about the 2010s and the 2000s. you know, they ran a woman in 2008 as their VP. The Republicans in the hard right, you know, they were a little more tolerant when it comes to women, but now it seems like they're really, really clamping down against women. J.D. Vance in his childless cat ladies remark, I'm noticing a trend. I'm noticing a trend. I just didn't see the Republicans of the past being so aggressive with this type of rhetoric. And I know Matt Walsh is not a Republican politician, but he can kind of, you know, shed some light on how the right is doing, how the right might be selecting their candidates in the future, you know, what the far right of the Republican Party really is like. And this is pretty repulsive. This is pretty disgusting. Neanderthal BS should be stowed away. It should not be forced down people's throats. It should not be imposed on people. But this guy is so obsessed with imposing it on people. It's arbitrary nonsense. It's arbitrary nonsense. At what point, you know, so if your wife makes 1 cent per year more than you, is that going to destroy your marriage? Is that going to destroy your marriage? Really? You obviously know that's not true. This is ridiculous. This is just plain ridiculous. So yeah, I know he probably doesn't even believe it. I sense that there is a grift here. I sense there's a grift. Whether or not he believes it, though, doesn't necessarily affect whether it's true or false. It's obviously false. Make however much money you want. Make what you need. Make what you need. Let your wife make what she wants and raise a good family together. Focus on the things that money can't buy. Focus on the things that money can't buy, and you will achieve happiness. If you're busy focusing on money, you know, my wife can't make more than me. I got to prevent this from happening. Oh, you know, I got to always strive to make more money because my wife is making more and she might catch up to me. It's unnecessary stress. It's misogynistic too. But yeah, I don't mean to get too woke here, but it's just plain, yeah. If this had come from someone else, you know, who was like kind of just spitballing and saying like, oh yeah, I think men generally should make more money than their wives. And it's like, okay, fine, you're entitled to that opinion. But coming from Matt Walsh, it's like, yeah, this is just plain misogyny. This is just him putting his middle finger up to women, saying, yeah, I don't like you. The only time he seems to like women is when it's a woman acting like a Karen towards someone. And he's actually gone out and straight up said, yeah, no, Karens are usually right. So yeah, the only good woman to Matt Walsh is a Karen, a white woman Karen. He's like, yeah, those are great. Everyone else sucks though, and they need to make less money than their husbands. Jeremiah Johnson, I give you credit for tweeting this, by the way, because you know that the Matt Walshes of the world are going to come out in full force against you. They're going to wag their finger at you. They're going to ridicule you. I assume that some of this stuff that he's citing here is exaggerated, that there might be some evidence of it in studies, but that he's exaggerating it in order to make his point. And that's obviously something that anyone can do. Anyone has done. People across the political spectrum like to distort studies to make their point. But yeah, this obviously is, you know, him square pegging the round hole. Do what makes you and your spouse happy. Make what you need to make. Make what's good for your family. Make what's needed to support your family. You want to have more kids, it's probably going to be more expensive. And in that case, you know what? Welcome the wife making more money. Welcome the wife making more money. The more the merrier. Because yeah, the more money you and her make, the more you're going to be able to support those kids and give them a great childhood and produce talented, strong, intelligent, empathetic adults for the next generation. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.